The bike that we're rebuilding today is currently the one that has been in our inventory the longest. A sad record that this frame really doesn't deserve. Tucked away in one of our top secret storage locations with a bunch of other beauties, it has collected dust and cobwebs. Today, however, we're finally bringing it back on the road with a thorough Restomod rebuild. The bike in question is a 1991 Panasonic MC Expert. Positioned towards the top end of the model range, the frame comes with double-butted, oversized chromoly tubing by Tange, as well as a Tange chromoly unicrown fork. It was equipped with a full Shimano Dior DX group set and a golden anodized seat post, which was typical for high-end Panasonic mountain bikes of the era. The frame itself features the stunning wine red with red marble colorway, which underneath all the dust is actually in great condition. Let us now head into the workshop so we can strip the frame, get it cleaned and polished. Whilst that is going on, let me briefly tell you about our newly relaunched website. Not only does it look quite different, there's also a lot of new functionality that we've implemented. For example, when you search for a frame or bike, you can now enter your body height to filter out everything that is not relevant. You want us to build a custom bike for you, but it has to be a certain brand? No problem, just use the brand filter or even narrow down your search by model year or frame material. One thing that hasn't changed, however, is that we can only ship within the European Union, and all frames are offered exclusively for rebuilds and are not being sold individually. Not here to purchase, but simply looking for some inspiration? That's cool. Why not use the build type filter to take a closer look at all the MTBMX models that we've built in the past. And when it comes to our parts shop, if you see any interesting parts being used on this build, as always, I will provide the product links in the video description. With the frame fully stripped and even the most stubborn components removed, we can now go ahead and clean the frame, which provides us with a little preview of how stunning this frame is going to look at the end. But before we get there, there are a few areas around the frame that need our attention. I use NeoClean scratch repair paste for the really dull and scratched areas, and I also like to apply it to areas where the paint is chipped. In this case, it's luckily just a clear coat in most places that has chipped off. The benefit of going over these areas with the scratch repair paste is that it makes the edges of the cracked areas smoother and thus prevents further cracking of the clear coat layer. It looks a bit weird when the white paste gets caught in the edges of the cracked spots, but that will all vanish in the next step when we polish the whole frame with knee green polishing compound. Once polished, I always apply some top wax by Sprayed Out Bike to seal the paint and give the frame some dirt protection. What we're tasked with today is in fact a customer commissioned rebuild, and I find that mock-ups are incredibly helpful when it comes to making design choices. In this case, we were exploring whether we should go for an all black or all silver set of components. And we were also looking at different colors to match the frame design. This frame really offered many different routes that we could have pursued. So we were also comparing tan wall to all black tires, and eventually Kerstin opted for an all black build with rack and only minor color accents. The only real color we're adding are these wine red chainring bolts and some special grips. As tempting as it always is to add color details here and there, I think more often than not, the end result actually benefits from showing some restraint in that regard. In theory, there are two options how you can install these. This is for installation on the axle, and the other one is when you have a second eyelet in the front, you can just mount it here. But of course, we can't mount it to the one in the back because then the fork is in the way, unless you use like a huge spacer. But as you can see, these holes don't line up, and that's because the welding here is so thick that it's in the way. This wasn't always the case, but this welding has just become sloppier on most recent batches, which is a shame because now we have to file down the this weld. Or if that whole piece was just a little bit longer, that would work too. But like as it stands now, it's a bit annoying. And because I didn't feel like sanding the rest of the day, I built this spacer tower, which allows us to have this go past the fork. Like I said earlier, Kerstin decided that the more black we had on the bike, the more the awesome design of the frame would be able to shine. And of course, that also meant building some all-black wheels using Halo white line rims. They are a great match for mid-90s DRLX hubs, as you end up with fully black and white wheels, which is something we've done on numerous other builds in the past. I just said how keeping everything black would highlight the beauty of the frame. So you may be wondering why I'm not replacing the partially silver DX headset with a black one. And certainly it is something we could have done, but personally I enjoy being able to incorporate original components into any rebuild. Not really a rational reason for it, I just find it nice to have some of the original DNA carried over. Plus there's a little bit of silver on the derailleur anyway, so my thinking is that if we lean into this aspect of small silver parts being sprinkled in here and there, it can help with making those parts almost seem like little accents rather than oversights. So in the spirit of leaning into it rather than fighting it, I selected the head adapter with silver top cap to create some repetition of the little silver accents around the cockpit area. And all of a sudden, I find that the silver seat post clamp and the silver V-brake noodles that we are yet to install, they all start to come across like highlights and don't look like we simply couldn't find a black alternative. I feel that it's important to point out that the standard Autosol metal polish is not exactly the right product for the job. Just a tiny bit of rust. They have a special polish for anodized components, as I'm guessing the regular one can harm the anodized surface if you're not careful. So yeah, I guess do as I say, not do as I do in this instance. This is a brass brush, not a steel brush. I'm really happy with how this build turned out, and I think not overdoing it with colored parts really paid off. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video where we're going to turn this trek into a dad bike MTBMX.